long ago, a few months back, a young man from Nepal was part of a team in NASA that discovered water on Mars. You must have read about it. I read about it as well. I was so proud that day when I opened the paper. I said, wow, look at this. Nepal ko chhorale ke garyo ha yesto. Nepali hunuma garv bhayo malai. Mars ma pani and a Nepali boy. A lot of beard and fringy hair and all, but still a boy from Nepal. Bidambana hamro ke cha. Ajo bihana pani 5 baje, 5:30 baje. In our capital city, we open our taps and there is no water. And we wonder, when will we get water over here? While a youth of Nepal finds water in Mars, we are yet to get water in our taps. Why? Today in the Middle East, the Far East, Africa and Alaska, the unskilled and semi-skilled Nepali is using his brawn, pasina bagaera kaam garera Nepali ko naam garv gariracha. You go to the tallest building in the world in Dubai. As you walk in after buying a ticket, you see many faces there of people who helped build that building. And in those faces are many faces of Nepali youth. I feel so proud. If you go to Europe, to America, to Australia, you find Nepalese youth using their brains to be the best doctors, to be the best engineers, businessmen, social workers. Buddhi chalaera Nepali le Nepal ko naam garv gariracha videshma. The question before us is, why not here? We seem not to lack the brain or the brawn to excel in our work everywhere in the world. But why not here? Why not in Nepal? I believe we are where we are as a nation, not because the youth is lazy, or the youth is demotivated, or the youth only knows how to burn tires and close streets. I believe we are where we are because people like me, people like those in positions of power with fancy visiting cards, the leaders and managers of this country have failed this country. Not the youth, not the people, but people like me. We have not been able to give the leadership that this nation requires to build an environment where buddhi chalaera hos ya pasina bagaera hos Nepali ko chhora chhorile Nepal mai basera Nepal ko vikas गर्ने एउटा वातावरण बनाउनै सकेनौं हामीले. For that simple reason, you will find Nepalese everywhere now. I think after the Sikh, the Nepali is the one population that is in every corner of the world. Because people like me failed people like them. I believe it is a huge leadership void that we have in this nation that is responsible for where we are today. I see many of you nodding, a lot of you agreeing to that. Yes, leadership void. These politicians have led us down a dismal road of despair. Yes, we have definite problems with our politicians. There is a void in political leadership. There is no doubt about it. But today, I want you to think a little more. For it is not only the void in political leadership that has brought us where we are today. Yes, there is corruption, there is inaction, there is patronage, everything there is in politics. But that, I don't believe, is the sole reason why we are where we are today. The leadership void I talk about is not limited to politics. Talk about our bureaucracy, where finance secretaries have to resign because they go after people who don't pay tax. Home secretaries are transferred because the home minister doesn't like the way you look. Where is our bureaucratic leadership? Where is that strength, that voice in the bureaucracy that says we will do the right thing no matter what, instead of running to political parties to get the right secretarial or posting or transfer? Where is the leadership in the bureaucracy which is supposed to be the backbone of this country? Along with the bureaucratic leadership, I want to talk about social leadership. Social leaders should be those that unify us, that bring us together, that make us feel proud to be one nation. How many of you are Thakuris? Raise your hand. Only me? Okay. And Newars? Brahmins? Janjatis? Now I ask you, in the context of the new Nepal, what made you think you could sit the way you're sitting? Is it to offend me? Why aren't all the Thakuris sitting together, and the Jandatis sitting together, and the Newars sitting together? Isn't that what the new Nepal demands? Why do you talk to each other? Why do you share your knowledge with another ethnic group? Doesn't that bring you down, give them an undue advantage? Isn't that what our social leaders are telling us? Is that true social leadership? Is that the leadership that the youth, the students, the civil society wants to hear? Am I Thakuri first and Nepali later? Am I Shah first and Nepali later? Are you Newar first and Nepali later? ए नेपालै रहेन भनेदेखि कहाँ रहन्छ ठकुरी, कहाँ रहन्छ नेवार, कहाँ रहन्छ जनजाति? But is that what our social leaders tell us? Where is our social leadership? And in my field, economic leadership, doing business in Nepal means evading tax, paying as little as possible to the worker, making them work in an environment that would possibly not be fit for keeping animals. That's doing business in Nepal. Is that the visionary economic leadership? VAT chalne arabon rupiyaँको? Where is the economic leadership in our country? Is that the sort of economic leaders that you all look up to and learn from and say, hey, मैले पनि business गरे भने म पनि त्यही गर्नुपर्छ? The first thing you ask is, how do I evade VAT and tax? Is that the economic leadership that's going to build a nation? And labor leadership, we all know, needn't say. The labor leaders build big houses, drive big Pajeros, and the poor laborer gets poorer and poorer. Where is labor leadership that looks after the leadership, the interest of the labor and not the interest of the labor leader? So when I talk about a leadership void, I talk about a void that is present right across this nation. Not only in the 601 people sitting in a big White House writing on a piece of paper, not very successfully. I talk about a leadership void in you, in me, in all of us. A leadership void that I don't think my generation will be able to fulfill. But I am confident that yours will. Because there are groups like this that come together and think, and talk, and bond, and have a vision, a shared vision for what our Nepal should be. And whether you are in bureaucracy, in the private sector, in the social sector, in labor leadership, in political leadership, which I hope some of you will go into, that leadership void will slowly, slowly be filled. I have faith in this country, and I choose to be in Nepal, not because the hosts of today did not give me a visa, or I don't have a work permit to go to the land down under, but I choose to be in Nepal for one reason. Because I want my daughter, who is today 11 years old, to also live in Nepal, and choose to live in Nepal. And I have confidence that she will, because of people like you, because of the youth of this country. We are a young country. 70% or more of our population is under the age of 35. We are a young country that is ready to reap its demographic dividend if we can build the right environment. For a young population is only good if you can give an environment in which they can produce, they can build productive lives, and they can contribute to society. In another life, in the past, I was with people who we have now thrown out in a country called Kuwait. And there the Sheikh, the Crown Prince of Kuwait, was talking, and he said, you know, you guys have got it all wrong. You all come and you keep asking us, please give us more work permits, please take more Nepalese, please this, please that. Do you realize that if we don't take people from Nepal or other countries, we can't build our country? And this was just, you know, the buildings were still torn down after the Iraq war. None of us are going to go out there in that heat and build that building, or clean that road, or build that garden, or drive my car. You have to look at yourselves as equal partners and say, yes, we have the brawn, we have the brain that you need. You have the money that we need. How can we talk? We have to see that this demographic dividend has to somehow happen in Nepal and not only in Kuwait and Qatar, not only in Australia and America. I'm optimistic for one reason, as I said, and that optimism springs from the youth of Nepal, from all of you, people like you. Look around you. You are catalysts of change. You are the person or the people that a lot of people look up to. You are fortunate to be part of this group, not because of the caste, creed, or who you know, but because you deserve it. र नेपाललाई साँच्चै नै विकास गर्ने हो भनेदेखि जसरी यो ग्रुप फर्म भयो त्यही एउटा सोचले हामीले नेपाललाई फर्म गर्नुपर्छ अनि त्यो सोच भनेको हाम्रो हैन राम्रोलाई प्राथमिकता दिनुपर्छ. Not because I am Thakuri, not because I am from some political party do I get opportunity, but because of my capabilities. And if you look at filling this leadership void, then what do people like you do? Where do you go? What is it, the sectors of the economy that Nepal needs to really focus on? And I think We've gone down the wrong path for many years. We can never make Nepal India or China or America or Australia. We have to look, just like each of you did, at our nation's core competencies. I don't know what our social, economic, social, cultural, religious core competencies may be, but the economic core competencies